My name is Kaylee, and this is Jordan. Unless you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Jordan, and our name's the Nomadic Movement. Come on in.
So this is our 2004 GMC Savannah. Basically, they just chopped the back off and turned it into a little mini school bus. So we bought it up in Maine.
Maine. We bought it almost 2 years ago now.
Yep.
And it's a GMC Savannah. So it has a Chevy engine, 6-liter. Gets about 11 to 12 miles per the gallon.
Yep. Not that great, but it does the job.
Does the job. So we converted the whole thing ourselves. We built this up to be a 6-month road trip vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So we built it as fast, as quickly, and as cheaply as possible.
Right.
And now we've been on the road for
Year and a half almost.
18 months.
Yeah.
So it's had a couple facelifts because it went from, I don't know.
Before it actually, we didn't have the white ceiling. We had like this cabin feel all throughout the whole entire bus.
Yeah.
But we just recently redid the whole ceiling and painted it white, so it made it a lot more spacious inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's show you around.
Yeah.
So up front here is what we call the cockpit. This seat actually wasn't here before, so it was really sketchy. We used to have a couch here before we built the bench, and whoever the passenger was would just sit there. And we just recently installed this, so it's bolted all the way down to the frame of the bus. And it spins around. We got it from like a 1970s old RV, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, for like $40 or something.
Yeah.
So you can both see out the windshield at the same time.
That's right. Exactly. And be nice and safe while we drive.
Yeah.
This is our little pantry area. So Jordan created this design.
Yeah, it's a little messy right now. We're stocked up for RTR because we have to go about 2 weeks without food.
Yeah.
So it's a little messy right now, but
yeah. We still have our stockings up even though it's January 10th.
Yeah. But it stores a bunch of food, stores our coffee, and our pots and pans are down below, and
yep.
You know, pretty simple.
All the essentials.
Yeah.
So this is our kitchen area. The sink. What is this sink called?
The sink.
Is there a special name for it?
Like a bar sink?
Bar sink? Yeah, I guess you could call it that, a bar sink. Before we actually had a water pump.
A hand pump.
A hand pump, yeah, for the faucet. So we never had running water before. We just had like 2 jerry cans underneath that we would pump the water with the water pump, and it was an absolute pain in the ass doing dishes. So we upgraded probably about 8 months ago, installed running water, and this beautiful faucet that you turn it, and it has 2 different features.
No, take it easy, take it easy.
Sorry, I'm wasting the water.
It's the desert, you know.
We're filling up water today, it's all good. So, should we talk a little bit about the water thing?
Sure. Yeah, so everything just drains into, our next upgrade's going to be this, it drains into a 5-gallon can, and I'd like to upgrade to a 10-gallon, because our freshwater tank's 33 gallons. Yeah. So, if we're anywhere in the city, it's really, really difficult to...
Because it fills up so fast.
So fast. But when we're boondocking, it's so much easier.
Right,
you know?
right.
So...
Yep, and then this little stove top has been like a game changer for us because before we just had a Coleman camper stove that we would just keep under there and pull out every time we had to use the small little propane tanks.
Which are so expensive.
Which we would probably spend like $20 a week on those. And now we have the big propane tank, which costs like $20 like every month and a half.
Yeah, and we have a propane alarm in there and a CO2 detector because we know sometimes putting the big tank in the bus
can be a little sketchy.
A little sketchy. We'd love to mount it on the outside at some point, but
that's
what we're getting by for now.
Yeah. So, moving on, let's see.
Refrigerator.
The refrigerator. So we have,
it's a winter fridge. I think it's 40 liters. It's much cheaper than a Dometic was it ARB or ABR?
Yeah.
Those are like the 2 most popular, but we went with the winter. I think it was $500 on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Yep. Let's show
And it's all one big...
Yeah,
yeah, so it's one. You can change it so that it's either all of a fridge or all of a freezer.
Or you can upgrade and get a bigger one and have the dual unit, but we didn't have that space, so we were kind of limited.
Here's Lola.
So we really wanted a fixed bed.
Yeah.
We wanted something that really felt like
home.
a home and a real bed. So it cuts down on space, because we can't unfold anything or move the cushions and have this as like a living area.
Right.
But it's great for when it's time for bed, when it's time to
and
sleep.
There actually is like a pretty decent amount of storage underneath the bed. We just recently installed these drawers. Before it was just all open space. You could access the hole underneath. So then we created these drawers just so it looked a little bit nicer. It was easier to get access to our clothes.
And they pull out pretty far too.
And yeah, they're very deep.
They're really
so,
big,
yeah.
and they kind of keep going. But you can see our clothes are all stocked up. And these are the clothes we have. The top one's Kaylee's, the bottom one's mine. And then on the back side, you can access it from the door back there is our garage. So
our garage.
Yeah, that's what we call it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like all of our tools and
If
stuff.
I remember right, a very well organized garage.
We
now.
reorganized it.
Yeah, I watched the video.
Yeah.
The one request I had when we were building the bus was a bookshelf. And I remember I went to work one day and I came back and Jordan had the bookshelf all made with all my books up there.
I wouldn't recommend building it the way that we have though, because those books fall down all the time, especially when we hit big bumps.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
redesign that whole
we're gonna redo it.
Shelf.
But for now, it's not too bad.
So it makes for the person not driving that's back here taking a nap sort of an adventure.
That's happened. She was sleeping before, and I hit a bump, and the books flew off and hit her in the head.
Yeah, it hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
Get a helmet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
So having two people in a small space can kind of get tough sometimes. So you can kind of see we have to like makeshift for some of our storage stuff. Things are kind of we're always trying to
all over the place.
We're always trying to get rid of stuff, but it kind of seems like this consistent accumulation. So at the end of the bed, we kind of just put some random stuff that we're still trying to find spots for. But something that was a game changer is building this. We just built this ourselves. It's pretty simple, and underneath we have a bunch of storage. Dirty clothes go here, cameras and electronics go here, and then this is winter clothes and towels go here, and then electronics go there. Yeah. So pretty simple design. And
one thing actually that we recently installed that has been really, really nice were these blinds. So before we just had like curtains, but they got super dirty and they didn't really like
block out the sun entirely.
Yeah. So we installed these, which
blackout
are awesome. And they just pull down and they work like regular blinds, and then you just push it back up. And they were super cheap. They were probably like $15 a piece at Home Depot, and they custom cut them yourself. They custom cut them for you, and
they work really well.
They work really, really well.
Yeah.
And what else?
That might be about it.
And you have solar.
Yeah. So on the roof we have 250 watt solar panels, and then we have a 250 amp hour sealed lead acid battery, and then we also hooked up the alternator to our leisure battery, so while we drive, charges it.
Popular option.
It's a game changer.
It's such a game
I would almost recommend that
over anything.
Over even like the solar panels, because you can just drive. We can drive for an hour and we have a full battery.
Right.
You don't get that float charge though of the solar panels, but.
And with short bus, you have limited roof space to put things. So.
Exactly.
But we still managed to put a roof rack up there.
Yeah.
Which
we got a roof rack. Yeah.
Which we wanted one for a while.
Yeah.
To have some extra space to hang out.
Yoga deck.
The yoga deck, absolutely.
Again, I've watched the videos.
Should we explain a little bit about the solar that we have?
We just did.
Oh, you already told them all the lots and all that shit. Okay. Maybe the fan?
Sure.
No? You explain it.
I think you pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the tour.
Of course.
Thanks
Thank you
for
for coming around.
And if people want to follow you, what do you have? YouTube, I know. What else have you got?
We have Instagram. We have a Patreon, and you can find us on YouTube as the Nomadic Movement.
That's about it.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the tour of this week's rig, and join us again next Saturday for another episode.